First of all, very good morning to all. I am Priti Choudhary. I am assistant professor in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College from IT department. Today I will discuss about function in Python, means what is the function, how to declare in your program, and different types of topics. Let's further start these. These topics cover in this lecture. First one is function definition, function declaration, types of function and all. Second one is global scope, local scopes means variable, types of variable and how to declare in locally and globally. And third one is nested function, what is the nested function. Fourth one is lambda function. Fifth one is list comprehension, and fourth one is list slicing. So let us start our first topic, that is function. Function is a block of organized, reusable code that is used to perform a single related action. Function provide better modularity for your application and higher degree to code reusing. Means a function is a block of code. Function use some code lines in, and this function code in use in your whole program, means your function code is used in your program again and again. Then just call this function and use your these code in your whole program. So it is a reusable code, also called, not time consuming. So it is that's why we use a function. And defining a function begin with the keyword diff. Diff keyword is used your function when you any default function is you declare in your program, then you use this keyword def, following by the function name and the parenthesis. After that you use here function name. Then parenthesis and last colon. So according to second point, any input parenthesis या argument should be placed beneath these in parenthesis. Means if you pass any argument, any parameter, then use this point inside the parenthesis. Third point is the first statement of the function can be optional, that the document the string and the function doc string. The code block within every function start with colon, means at the end of parenthesis colon use here. At the end the statement return expression exists the function, means if you want to exist from a function, then you use the return expression, and this return expression is totally optionally, you can use or not. Now function syntax, key how to declare a function. Firstly, function start with a keyword, that is def. Now function name and use parenthesis and pass any parameter or arguments according to these lines. After that you need a code of your program and code of any lines, any program and any operations, and at the end you return, means you want to exist from this function, then use the return expression. Means this return expression is maybe optionally or not. Function argument, you can call a function using any different types of argument. First one is required argument, second one is keyword argument, fourth one is default argument. Required argument, the argument passes the function in correct position order, means first one is check the your function argument pass in the correct order or not. Second is keyword argument. Keyword argument, the function call identify the argument by the parameter's name. Fourth one in default argument, the argument has a default value in a function declaration used when the value is not provide the function call. Now fourth one is function calling, ki how to function call. Here just apply this value, function name, it is a function and you want to call this just name any name. Let here the it is name is x y z. You just use x y z, so you can call by this process. Now types of function. So there are basically we can divide the function into the two types. First one is built-in the function, means that function which are totally predefined in a Python libraries and already defined in predefined. And second one is user defined, means firstly built in a function that are built in a Python already. So these are the some examples. These are the some examples which are used as a built-in a function. So first one is Python ABS. Parenthesis means return the absolute value of a number. Means any numbers you return the absolute value. Second one is Python all. Python all function use return the true value when all function is iterable is true. Means all looping is true, then it return the output is true. Fourth one is third one is Python any. Python any function check if any element of an interval is true. Fourth one is ASCII, return the string containing printable representations. Fourth one is Python bin. Python bin convert the integer value into the binary string. Fourth one is Python bool, convert the value to a boolean. Python byte array, return the array in a given byte size. And fourth one is Python byte, return the immutable Python mode. Immutable, you can't change the content of any object, any data, it called the immutables. And second point is user defined function, means user defined function that can be defined ourselves to do certain specific task are referred to is called a user defined function. Advantage of user defined function means user defined function help to decompose a large program into a small segment. It is the main advantage. Second, if repeat the code occur in your program, means if your code is repeat again and again, then you create a function and this function use this code when you use in your whole program and execute when calling by the calling process. And third one is programmer working on large project. Python programmer working on a large project can be divide their workload into a different function. Now function length argument. Function length argument means this use when you need the process unspecified additional argument, and the asterisk means this form star. Asterisk is placed before the variable in a function declaration. The first one is the function declaration. Start with def, use function name, and here I am using argument and variables. This is now print output is this argument first pass argument 1 this, and here the using the looping I variable and print where and return. So here use the print info. The print info is this function is calling here and brief into so first this function is calling means this, so you go to there, calling is first function, go there, and how many argument pass is here? Single argument pass, then it print only argument 1. So our output is 5 according to this. Now next again the calling the again same function print info, but here the length of the variable is 3. Then go to the this variable and check where tuple, and tuple is this, and print the variable. The different variable is used here. So the output is 10, 20 and 30. Means function also variable length argument can be defined here. Here the use only one part, then we use the argument first, then the variable is different, then it is use the different variable. Now return value. I tell you the return value is maybe optional or not, but it is used in a function when you want to exit from your program. So it let the function return value and use the return statement here. First one is this when you want to find out the here output and result, and you want to exist from your program. So start your def the same. This is your function. First my function is here and argument pass is x. Now comes to return expression. Return 5 when which number, any number you want to pass here, then that number is multiplied by this and output is this. So according to this 5, the first print call, it is the calling my function and pass the 3. So here 5 into 3 output is 15. So it is the output of that function. According to this 5, so here the 5 into 5 output is 25. Here 9, so 9 into 5 means 45. So this is the output of this function. Now nested function. What is the nested function? Here the function is used inside the function. Here function is declared inside the function is called a nested function. Function are one of the first class citizen of Python, which means that functions are at the same level and other Python object, integer, strings and modules, and they can be created and destroyed the dynamically pass and the other function and return as a value. A function which is defined inside another the function is called the inner function, or we can say that the name is nested function. Nested function are able to access the variable enclosing the scope, and if the outer function is not called, then the inner function will never execute. Means firstly call to if outer function is not called, then inner function never will execute. Nested function is used so that they protected from the everything happening outside the function. This process is known the encapsulation. Means encapsulation is used for a protected way. It is also the part of OOPS, object oriented programming, means OOPS. So now let us the example we take here. First one is the create a first function by this, and it is the outer function. Now print hello from the outer functions. Now create a second, declare the second function, inner function. So print hello from the inner function. Now first function is this, so firstly call this function and after that function call this. The output this, firstly output is this hello from the outer function, firstly call outer function, then call inner function, then inner output. The output is this. Now nested function, here the another example of nested function. Python program to demonstrate accessing of variable of nested function. First one is this, again def, here the first function and the string is used the outer, and here the second function is used, then the string is inner. Print s is the output is this. Here the calling to this, the first one is the calling, here the calling is 2 and the print s, but divider is code and function. So according to this, firstly code this function, firstly call this function, after that call this, because this function is outer function, because this is the outer side. So firstly call f1, after that call f2. So output is when you call the f1, call to s is the entering and call inner, first is inner, so then call the inner, then call outer. The output is this. Scope and lifetime of the variable. Scopes of the variable in a portion of program where the variable is recognized, parameter and variable defined inside a function is not visible from outside. Hence, they have a local scope. Lifetime is a variable period throughout the which variable exists in a memory. The lifetime of variable inside a function is as long as a function execute. They are destroyed once we return from the function. Hence, a function does not remember the value of variable from the previous call. Here the same things, this first function is this. So here what is the local and what is the globally, it is a explain you one by one. So this is the Python globally and non-global. So first one I tell you the global variable is what. So here the three types of variable, and all variable is declared in different way. First one is globally, second one is local, and third one is non-locally. So first one is the what is the global variable. Global variable is used here, the variable is declared outside the function here. So here the x is a global, Here the we declare the x is a variable and it is the name is global, and but it is declared outside the function because function body is this and this is declared outside the function. But when you use this variable inside this function, so it is usually passes here. So def is foo, it is the function, and create x is the inside the x and foo is the outside the x. So there is a huge output is this. So when you x is inside the x, so here the what x is take the from the global area. So output inside the global and outside the global. In above code, we create the x1 as a globally variable and define the foo. Foo is a function here, and to print the globally variable, we call the foo, which is the print value of x. What if you want to change the value of x inside? Let's suppose you want to change the value here, means x value is globally and def is value or x value is here change, means x is any number. If you want to then multiply the x, the output is multiply by this. So that time global function is not using the inside this function. Now global variable again check here, changing the global variable from inside the function using a globally form, means starting you see create a any variable, that value is 0 but it is a declare as a globally variable, and you create a new function here add and global c, and what is the value is c is a 0. So you check the 0 plus, first of all take the value as a globally 0, then increment by 2 and comes to here 2, and inside the print add, and this one is c. So it called this function add function is called the this add calling by this function and use the main function. The output is what? Output is 2. Now local variable here the any variable declare into the inside the function. So here y equal to local, means here the y is a variable and it is declare inside a function. So here again create a function y local and print, so easily output is local. Just you call function, then check value and the block. Same thing is this. And now accessing the local variable outside the scope. If you want to outside the scope, then you can. So firstly outside the scope is this print y. So according to this here the y is not defined, means if you want to enter the local and function is this, but this is the y outside the function, so here the y is not defined, here the error create. So here the create the error because y is not defined. Now non-local variable are used in a nested function whose local scope is not defined. That means the variable can be neither in the local or nor the global. Neither local or nor be the global scope. Here the create a non-variable. First of all create a function here def outer function and x is the local and non-local is inside the nested function. Another function is create the this. So this variable is called the non-local and print. So what the output is when you call the inner part is this, so use the non-local and outer side the use non-local again. And Python anonymous and lambda function is what? Here the in previous slide I will discuss about the function. Then this function is totally by defaulted function, so that's why we use the def function. But this is the lambda function, is another. As in Python anonymous function is use a function that is defined without the name. Here no need to requirement any def keyword. It is just use the directly name lambda. And while normal functions are defined using def keyword, and Python anonymous functions are defined using the lambda keyword, means here is no need to requirement any def function. Hence any anonymous function also called a lambda function, means all anonymous function is called a lambda function. Lambda function means in normal function we use the function name, and after that we use the 2 and 3 lines expressions, code and operations, different line, and output the return expression. But in this the lambda function we use all statement, all expression and operation use a single line. So this is the syntax of the lambda function. So lambda use the argument and apply expression, means all things and all operation and argument apply in a single line is called, it is the lambda syntax. Lambda function can be any number of argument, but only one expression is used in like this. And lambda function can be used wherever function object are required. This is the example of lambda function. First one is the lambda used by this keyword lambda, and this is used the another variable, that is the double, and lambda output when it use the this variable, and x is the, here the x is argument, and x multiplied 2 is the expression. So print double 5. So here the 5 double in use the argument is 5, then 5 is come here, and 5 into 2 10. The output is 10. So in above program, lambda x equal to x multiplied 2 is the lambda function. This one lambda function, here the x is argument and x multiplied by the 2 the expression, that the evaluate the value, then return the value. The function has no name, it is use the all simply lambda keywords, and use the identify the doubles and use different uses of the lambda function. We use the lambda function when you require the nameless function as a short period of time. In a Python, we generally use as an argument to a higher order function in here, a function that can take the inside the function or argument, means a function used in as a argument, use any different type of function also called as a argument, it called a higher order function. Lambda function is used along with the built-in function. Here the some other function is uses here, filter, map and reduce. These are the other parts of the lambda functions. So first one is a filter. Filter function is a Python taken in a function as a list argument, and the function is called within all the item in the list, and new list is written with the contain item from for which a function evaluate is true. Means here a list is given in your program, and the filter function is used output the data from that given list, but condition is true, then output the from that list. So filter is used as a example. Firstly create a any list, my list here, and use the this some items is use this list. And now what is the syntax is this? So here the filter function is also use any types of data types, like can say that the list, tuples, dictionary, any kind of. So here the list in use, and apply the filter function, and same things is here. What is this? This is a lambda syntax. Lambda x divided by 2 equal to 0, means here the find out it is number is even or odd. So check the value is x, check is 1 by 1 by this, check, and x divided by 2 equal to 0 from this list. So output is this. Firstly check filter from this given items. First condition is false, no take it. 5 is not here, not equal to 0. Now 4 is used. 4 divided by 2 equal to 0, then condition is true, and it is the come to the new list. So output is 4, and 4 comes to the new list, and new list is generated here. So output is 4. Now check the next value is 6. 6 is equal to this. So output is 6. Now output is 8. At the end output is 12. So this is the filter item from given list. Now next one is map. Map here map function in a Python take a function and list, means here we use the functions on list, but not only use a list. Here you can use tuple, dictionary and set. Different types of data types in a Python you using, and you can take in this function. And the function is called with all the item in a list, and new list is written with the contain item written by the function of elite. Means here same thing is here the again one list is created and these are the some values items. And now list, because we apply on list, then we use the list keyword here, then map function and apply the lamp. Means this map function is used a given list as a operation, and different types of operation apply on a list and give the output according to expression and according to argument. So this one my left, so this is the 2, so x is 1 into 2, the output is 2, 5 into 2, output is 10, 4 into, so here the operation is x multiply by 2. So given all items, given all items in this list is increased by the 2, multiply by 2, and the final output of the new list is 2, 10, 8, 12, 16, 12 and 24. And reduce in the, here the same things, function and sequence use in a apply to particular function passage in it the argument in to all the list, mention the sequence passage along the function, define the func tools. Means map and filter, both are function inbuilt in a Python, but reduce is not, it is the import by this tool, function tool. So it modules, so at the first step function is 2 element in sequence and pick the result here, means it is the reduce the your list. Means here according to this reduce, so it firstly say import by this function tool, it is imported then, and create a list, and this is the list according to the, so some of the list is, it is the reduce the type. Means firstly 3, 4, 4 into 9, 9 into 2, 15, and 15 plus 2, 17, the output is 70, it is the reduce the types. Now list already I defined in my previous lecture. List is the mutable object, you can change the your data in Python, it is the data type, but here the list use the different types of values like integer, string and all data, different types of data types in use a list, and it is combine the square the bracket, the square bracket, and it is similar to the operation and like a slicing, concatenation and the repetition and membership, the similar string in a strings. List comparison means list comparison, each list comparison consists the expression is here. So with here the 1, 2, 3 given the number, here I use the x equal to 2 is in a, and 1, 4, 5 is this. So this is value is used a different way. Here the this is the initialization output and the given result. Let's suppose this is the example, it is the part, means same part using here. So here the output x plus 1, and it is the looping here using, and what is the here the use the condition. So here the list comparison defined into the sim and different part. List slicing is also here the when you use the in list as a indexing, means you 2 dot means you have a list, value is 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. So here the list, the output is 2, the 0, 1, 2. So here the value is output is 5, 4 and 6. So this is the indexing at the end of this. So indexing into the 3 part divided. First part is initially, ending and index jumping, ki how much index jump by 1 by 2, 1 by 3 increasing. So other part of list slicing I will discuss in my next lecture. So this time is over. So thank you so much. Thank you.